All right, I've got 6:31 p.m. May 1. Started our regular meeting, and I'll call it to order. If you could join me with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, first thing we've got on the agenda after the Pledge of Allegiance is the warrant. I just want to make a quick note. I know there were a lot of people that were going to come for the hearing with the state of Vermont on the potential juvenile short-term secure placement facility, but unfortunately they let us know this afternoon that they had to cancel and reschedule for next week. So if anyone did come for that, or just fair, you don't wait around for an hour before we get to it and tell you otherwise. So
March 15th is on the
March 15th, yeah. I know a lot of us, May. 2 weeks from today, 2 weeks from today. But next we'll go to the warrants. I think we've got just payroll warrants and general warrants. Is that correct?
I have the general fund warrant dated April 27th, 2023 in the amount of $36,840.66. Pretty much daily or monthly, same monthly items, nothing really super big sticking out except for a couple fire department items from the Source Emergency Products. About almost $6,000 there. Make a motion, we approve the warrant.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you. Jeff?
Yep. I have two payroll warrants. The first one is dated April 21st of this year, and that is in the amount of $20,528.15. And this is just the regular payroll. And then I have a second warrant dated for April 28th of 2023 in the amount of $36,583.99, and this warrant includes the agency checks. And so I would make a motion that we approve these warrants as stated.
Second.
Any discussion, first of all? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next up, we've got the minutes. I think I just saw it's the minutes from our last select board meeting on April 17th. Could take a motion to
So moved.
approve it. Thank you.
Second.
All right, any discussion on the minutes? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. And let's see, next up, I'll ask for a motion from somebody to recess as the select board and reconvene. I'm sorry? Oh, let me go back to public comment. Sorry about that. That looks bad, doesn't it? Sorry about that. I was excited about getting into the liquor control board here. Yeah, let me go back. Public comment, as always, if you wouldn't mind coming up, that'd be wonderful to state your name and town of residence for the camera. That'd be great. Anyone want to make a public comment?
Yes, Bryce Book, Dan Crapo.
Dan, come right up.
If you wouldn't mind, Dan. That's
Not here, someone, is it?
Yep. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right there's great. And if you want, if no one else wants to sit there, you can sit there the rest of the time.
You're welcome to come.
We'll let you take over.
You need company?
That way they, you get one target and get a couple targets. Anyways, I'm here just to make a comment about the Act 250 violation report that Al has been working with us. And we met with him today, and he's gotten with the state and the Natural Resource Board, and they want some more information. And he's going to get that and give back to them. And hopefully we'll hear something this week. Is that correct, Renee? Hopefully. Hopefully.
Yeah.
So I want to thank him for the support that he's doing for us, and we appreciate it. He also gave us some information in regards to other options we have. So we're looking at that. That's pretty complicated because there's a lot of things involved with that. This is a private road, so. But the board is looking at that, and we'll have to take it to the residents for their approval if they agree with it. But I want to thank you for the work you're doing with that too. So the other thing I wanted to put on the record is that we discussed the fact that seeing that there is an Act 2 violation report that we have filed, that I'll read what the board said, that the Ricebrook residents respectfully request that no further development or applications for the development that involves Ricebrook Road be allowed until this road issues and violations are resolved. And we also ask that the town official in a business transaction or relations with the Smiths or their companies excuse themselves from being involved with any decision or opinion on these Ricebrook Road issues. And I want to thank you for the time. So that's all I have to say for today. And I'll give you a comment, but thank you for your support.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Kirk.
And we're going to keep bugging you so that
Keep bugging us, yeah.
we need some help. So, thanks.
Thank
You
you.
want a copy of this?
I wouldn't mind
Give me a
going.
copy, I'll make sure we all get it.
Awesome.
Okay.
Electronic is usually the best, so I'll scan it.
Thank you.
Any, yeah, go ahead, Al. Yeah.
Just to add to Dan's comments, that I will write up a report of my meeting with the board and provide it to you later on.
Awesome, thank you.
So you discussed with them what we've been talking about
Yes.
the last few months?
Yes, and it's, as I learned, it's gonna be extremely complicated, so that's why I wanted to put it in writing.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Any other public comments from anyone? Okay. Before we go to the liquor control portion, just to mention one more time, so a few people have come in, the state of Vermont let us know right this afternoon that they weren't gonna be here tonight. It'll be in 2 weeks, so just wanna make sure everyone was aware of that. So with that said, I'd like a motion now to recess as the select board, and we'll open up as the liquor control board.
So moved.
Any second?
Second.
Any public, or any comment? All right, all in favor?
All right.
All right, perfect. All right, so we are now the liquor control board. And it looked like we had, I know we did these last meeting, but there were two other ones that just came in. One is for the VFW with an outside consumption permit. The other being Pizza Hut with a first-class license. There's a handwritten note here and signed by Anna Borden saying that there are no infractions or violations for either establishment. And I've got all the papers here, everything looks to be in order, and they just didn't get in last time.
Will we approve the applications if you want?
You're asking a question or making a motion?
I move that we.
Oh, gotcha. Yep.
Second.
Thank you. Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you.
Motion that we adjourn as a liquor control board and reconvene as the select board.
Second? Any public, any comment? No? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. All right, next up is the municipal listing. And I understand, I've been on the board just a couple of years here, so I know once a year there's a master list. Carrie, fill in more info if needed here, but a master list of really all the officials, staff members. And this is for more emergency purposes, Carrie?
Yeah, it's our emergency list, and once you approve it at this time of year, we can amend it later with just the manager's signature. So for instance, that position will change, and we'll just update that name and send it back to them.
Move we approve the municipal listing as presented.
Second.
Any discussion?
I got one, can I see that
Yep.
just real quick?
Of course.
I'm like, I don't know.
Who seconded that?
Jack?
Me.
Jack,
Thanks.
So Carrie, under the third page, under school board, like, it says James Farr.
on the third page? Oh,
Yeah, he's-
yes,
he used
yes,
to be
yeah.
on the select board.
I got it,
The,
yeah.
I've been on that board
Yeah, he's been on for a while.
for years and years.
So do you know who the chair is?
It's Nilda,
It's
Vanilla French,
For who? Supervisor union?
for the Maple Run Unified School District.
Barb's chair.
Super,
which,
Was done, but that was
Yes, I
like
think that's the
2008.
one.
Back when,
Yeah.
Are you making changes?
I am to that, the school board name, and just,
So, my address has changed thanks to the new V911. So,
that's the one.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that with the addresses, I have no idea if these are right.
Do we want to work through that with the good folks up at NRPC and then take this back next meeting and approve a clean copy or just?
No, I can make the changes and you can approve, I mean, are there
Oh,
more?
because we can approve it and then you can change it by signatures,
we
but so
can.
I leave my motion on the table, even if
Yeah.
it's a wrong document, because we know Carrie's gonna fix it.
But we're gonna have at least the school
Those two
board chair
changes.
be changed.
Yep, 73, 74?
Yes.
I leave my motion on the floor.
All right. Any further discussion then, or potential modifications? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. And, all right, next up, now, and Carrie, just a question on process here. Are we recessing as a select board again and reconvening now as the local cannabis control board?
So
I think that we should, yes.
Okay, so,
I make that motion.
okay, thank you. A second for that?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, perfect. And so we've, again, this is new for us, new for the state of Vermont, that there's now a cannabis control board, similar to the liquor control board, but obviously dealing with cannabis. I know we've got some additional information. We had a question this past week, and Al's gonna help us out with that. But we do have right now the Vermont Grow Shop, which is Mary Jane Junction, or MJJ Retail Cannabis Shop. And again, they've gone through and gotten all of their state permits. They have everything. It's just come down to the local cannabis license approval. Would it make sense for us to hear from Al first, do you think? About this, like the process or what it is we're actually looking at?
Yep.
You can, yeah.
Okay, I mean, do we need everyone to agree with that, or?
No. we-
All right, good. Al, if you could come up and give us some information, I don't think it's gonna change on you, our process here, just to
No,
get that
so-
info now.
I made a mistake when I first talked to you about the Cannabis Control Board, and it was my opinion that you only had to approve those shops, the retail shops in St. Albans County. And it turns out that the Cannabis Control Board said, no, that was wrong interpretation, that once you adopt to become a commission, that you have to approve all types of licenses, which includes the manufacturers, the laboratories, the growers. And so we have the talk that you just, for the retail store you have to approve. I also have a second item, and that's for Amaro, who makes a product up in the Franklin Park West building. So now we have to, and I've already talked to Megan and to
AJ.
the AJ,
Yep.
that we have to amend how we do things and how we record things. So now you'll get licenses or requests for licenses from all different people who are putting in some portion of the cannabis manufacturing and selling. So that's why we're changing. And so we have changed the format to reflect. I think you have this one.
I don't think I've seen that one.
That's just the application we send to them.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, okay. No, check that.
But I will tell you, Megan did this in here this afternoon, and that's what the board is gonna review when they start reviewing the applications. And the other change was that we were collecting a fee, and the state informed us they collect the fee in advance.
We don't get anything for our hard work?
Yes, you do.
We get the money from the state, but,
Do they take a 30% cut off on top of that one too?
No.
Yeah.
Well, the irony of it is, it's $100 fee.
Oh, geez.
And the person, the licensee has to submit the $100 to the state, and they in turn return it or send it to the town.
Oh, yeah.
But if you look at the boards, the cannabis boards' expense, fees, they're outrageous for everything.
10,000, is that?
Yes,
that's the
it's
state
$5,000 or
fee.
$16,000 for certain manufacturers. It's just incredible how much they're billing onto this process. Sort of ironic that we get $100. Granted, we get some taxes back from it and things like that. But still, the discussion between the legislature and the state, we didn't have many representatives, I don't think, on our side for that legislation. But be that as it may, so you can approve the one you have, and then I have a motion for you later to approve the Druid Flowers LLC.
You have a specific motion for us to read separately from?
Yes, when you get there. You're gonna approve this one that's on the table now?
Okay, so I move that we approve that application by Vermont Grow Shop to open a cannabis dispensary to be known as Mary Jane Junction, which is, already open, so.
Yeah, any second?
No second,
Just want to mention under the comments part here, question, discussion, on the checklist that Al provided, there's just 4 items, because it says, as this comes up with cannabis shops and businesses, we don't have a lot of leeway on what we're looking at. So we're looking at, did they get zoning approval? Well, our zoning people would decide that based on all the other pieces that they're looking at. Did they get preliminary state approval? Again, it's a yes or no, they got it. The third and fourth ones are there any complaints? Now, obviously, if they're brand new, there probably wouldn't be any complaints, and do they have any violations over the last year? Again, most of these, if they're new, they're not gonna have any of those, so. As a lot of these businesses come, there's not gonna be too much we can actually look at, and that's my understanding, is that correct?
Within the context of the law, they're subject to the town's sign law. And then the second part was, if anybody files a police complaint, that would come to you, you would then put that as a reason not to deny the license.
Yeah.
So when they come back for renewal, just like with the liquor licenses, the town clerk as well as AJ will have that information for you to
Just
make a
like with the
decision,
liquor
yes or no.
Yeah, okay.
I have a question.
Yep.
If we were to deny, like, based on the complaint, what's that business owner's recourse? They appeal it?
Yes, but not to us, to the state. What happens, once you deny it, it goes up to the state level, and they have said that they would affirm what the local jurisdiction says. So they would carry the responsibility to affirm your decision. I assume that somebody had, contention, said that you were wrong. I assume the state has the final authority, because they're the ones that actually issue the license that's, if you will, valid, that allows them to perform their duties.
I was just wondering, like, how that would work.
Yeah, much like a liquor license.
Yeah.
Conform to the existing rules, zoning rules, was for signs, and then the social for complaints. Disturbances, I think, is the law says.
Any other discussion, questions? All right, so the question on the floor is if we'll approve the Vermont Grow Shop, known as Mary Jane Junction. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you.
And if I can suggest a second motion for somebody to make, and that is that to approve Zach Lamoureux's business on Druid Flowers LLC. And for background, they make gummies.
Yep, that was the next one I was going to.
Okay.
No, that's fine. Okay, anyone want to make that?
So moved.
Okay, thank you. Any second?
I'll second.
All right. And again, this one, just another piece here. So this is a company that is not going to be retail, they're going to be manufacturing. And I just had just a quick
Correct.
question. Is that different than like Liquor Control Board? If someone was making or manufacturing alcohol without retailing it, would they also be subject to the Liquor Control Board?
We don't do that
No
for,
idea.
we don't do that for alcohol, there's different rules for them.
That's
because I
why I'm
know
just
there's somebody who
curious if
makes
cannabis
weed
is different,
In
so.
the industrial park,
Yeah.
we don't approve that license, they
Yeah.
didn't include the local aspect.
Okay. I was
Yeah,
just
that's a good question, but we'll.
Any other, I don't have any other
What about the
discussion.
moonshiners?
I don't think there's a permit
They don't
for
get any
legal
permits,
moonshine.
yeah. Straight up the cars.
I don't know. If there's no other discussion, we'll call the question. All in favor of passing that for Druid Flowers?
Aye.
All right, thank you. And the last one I had was for you, Al, but I think we went to you first, so. Anything else, Al, on the?
No, this Druid Flowers, we pre-approved, we approved them, and then the state said, the board,
Yeah, we didn't need to, right?
yeah, well, the board, they came back and said you hadn't voted on the application. We just said, send it forward without your approval, that's why it
I
came
know
back
this
to us.
week we had a lot of emails on
Yeah, okay.
trying to discover if
It's
they're.
kind of like the usual case with the state, they don't know what they're doing, and we're all floundering around here while we figure it out.
It's an app description, I guess, maybe.
I move
I don't
that
know.
we adjourn as the Cannabis Control Board
Mhm.
meeting meetings as select board.
Thank you. All in favor? Thank you. So next up, we'll turn it over to Carrie for the town manager's report.
Great. So the first item under town manager had been the discussion with state officials on the juvenile crisis center that was gonna, well, they're gonna discuss locating it on the existing prison property in town. So I'm gonna move to the second item, which was, I put some draft policies in your packets, one on artwork and the second one on building security. Just a policy and procedure internally that we use to keep employees safe, those that are visiting us safe. So I'm looking at this point for approval or feedback, because I'd like to push these forward so we can move to some other policies.
I care if you make just one comment on the first part. So again, if, 2 weeks, if you got any comments on the detention center, to please come, please let people know it's meant to be to hear the public, listen to their presentation, ask them questions, and wasn't necessarily any kind of vote to be taken yet, but just to see more info. So sorry about that, Carrie. So
No,
we're on
that's
I think we have the art policy first, correct?
Yes.
Trying to go down and find that, I had that in here. Queued up here. First, any questions or comments from anyone else on it? I mean, it's much more substantial than the draft policy 1, that's for sure.
It has a process for approval for those that maybe don't want to read it but want to understand what's in here. We have some standards, whole page full of examples of what we're talking about there. Installation and reservation of rights to pull it down should somebody find it extremely offensive, basically.
And Carrie, I know originally we were talking about basically putting artwork in here and maybe down the hallway, but this seemed it would encompass pretty much the entire town. If someone
It
wanted
does,
to
in
put a
case of-
statue at the Bay Park, that would be covered under it.
Right.
So
We allow
essentially,
that, period.
Well,
I don't want
we-
random art in the Bay Park.
we can.
I don't want
I
that.
think
We
it's-
don't right
I think
now,
it's that we
no.
have a policy for it now.
Correct.
You do have random art. Jim,
We have Abenaki.
Yeah, but that's not random, that's installed by the town with a grant.
oh, I see what you're talking
I
Yeah,
don't want
we
the
don't let
public deciding that. So
You're
just-
talking about chalk on the sidewalk?
Sure.
Well, the policy, just in a nutshell, correct, is things will be submitted to basically the town manager. Town manager will review it. The select board would have a role in voting yes or no, correct, after reviewing the standards. And then it would go to, at this point, John Montague, facilities manager, whoever that is, to make sure that it's installed properly and according to everything. I mean, it looked to me like, again, it says, it gives us a little check back to make sure that not the wrong kind of art, things that we don't think necessarily should be displayed in a public place. If we're having a meeting on recording and there's something that we don't want us to represent the town, it might not be, we would have a say to do that, so.
It's actually a good use of a committee. Sometimes it's difficult. This would be a great one because you'll have at least 6 people weighing in, probably 7.
You're suggesting having a committee to do it?
No, I mean,
You mean
it's
just
creating a committee. It's the select board and the
Gotcha.
manager and,
Gotcha.
the assistant manager.
Thought you were proposing a new committee.
No, you don't need any more new committees. You're like, you want a new committee? No, I do not. Yeah.
Well, any other discussion from anyone or any other comments?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, any other discussion on the motion? All right, all in favor? All right, thank you. Next one was the security, building security policy and procedure. And as far as I can tell, this is pretty much the same as it was the first draft. I don't think
It
we really
is.
have any changes to it. Essentially saying that when the building's open from 8 AM to 4 PM every business day, that the front doors are open, correct, this space is open, the other, all the spaces in the lobby and here are open. But that door would be locked for security for staff members. If anyone wanted to come in and meet with anyone, there's a phone right there, they would call them, and they would just let them in. Is that
And we
pretty much
actually,
it?
I mean, stopping at either one of these service windows is the same, so we have someone that fully staffs that now, that greets them, asks questions.
Mhm. Oh, they can let them in as well?
Yep, absolutely, and on the phone has 4 or 5 different extensions, so.
They just pushed the one
You just push the person that, hey, say they're coming to see me and I'm the only person in the building, they can push that office, I'll get the call and let them.
Do you have one for the lunchroom?
No, we did not.
Should put that on there.
But we are, honestly, we have somebody out here all the time,
Oh.
we stagger lunches.
All right. All right, any motion to adopt this policy and procedure?
So moved.
All right, any second?
I'll second
All right, any other discussion? All in favor?
it. All right.
All right, thank you. And, yep, Carrie, still with you, I guess?
All right, I think we're very close to the end. The last item was just you guys, the town select board being copied on Act 250 permit, no motion needed on that. And I don't have anything else on your town manager
All right,
today.
thank you. So next up is just the schedule. So our next select board meeting is Monday, May 15th. And then the one following that will be Monday, June 5th. Both of those are scheduled at 6:30. And again, we've announced it before, but next Monday, May 8th, is the volunteer appreciation dinner. So hopefully all of our volunteers can make that. Let's see, and also just a note, just to remind people, the town's fire department is hosting a takeout spaghetti dinner fundraiser Saturday, May 13th, so 2 Saturdays, starting at 5 PM. Dinner can be purchased at Saytech. They make an incredible meat sauce, and we'll be there until they're sold out. And I think a few people have done that every year, right?
Yeah.
Grab that, right?
Yeah, I do.
Fair.
Jonathan usually talks about
I
it.
get
Any
it.
comments, Jonathan?
I'm very good
It's
at,
good.
it usually sells out within like 45
You
minutes.
wanna get
If you're
there?
if you're a business willing to sponsor the dinner to help offset the cost of the food itself, to help the firefighters association, which puts the dinner on and raises money to help offset the taxpayers' burden in implementing certain types of equipment for the department, contact, I wanna say either Jason Bonnet or Homer Hungerford. And they'll set you up with and they'll take whatever you're willing to give, 25, 100, whatever, $100, whatever it is. It all goes to a good place.
100,000 they'll accept.
I would assume so. I'd be disappointed to find out.
Is there any way, Carrie, can we just make sure that's the part that Brendan's bringing up on Facebook and just post
Yes,
it?
yeah, we have
Just
that.
just make sure we have
We can
that.
do
Al, do you
that.
have something?
There's a question. Did you say you have to order the meals first ahead of time?
I don't know, how does that work?
No, you
Until
can't.
they're sold out, you get in line.
You just
Just
get,
get in
you
line.
get in a long line and goes around and you get, you're the last guy in the line, you get there and they say, sorry.
You're still allowed to make a donation though.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
good.
or something.
Can you go in and lick the pot? I don't know.
And then you can just go to Pie in the Sky or Bayside or anywhere else in town and pay the local option.
There we go. Perfect. All right, so next thing here, just chair's report. I just had 2 things I was going to mention. So one I know is we got our latest, actually LOT payment, and again, just looking at the trajectory of it, I think it was the highest, the third fiscal quarter payment we've received to date, and every year so far, it's just increased and increased and increased. So again, I know Brendan's given kind of kudos or props to the original people who put that in, but it's been a great tool for the town, as evidenced by the building we're sitting in. And last thing, just real quick, I know my son came home a while back and told me something about, with school, there's gonna be all these people coming to St. Albans next year for the eclipse. I didn't know what he was talking about.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and then I got a note, I copied on with Carrie, talking with the other staff in the town to make sure that we're ready in case there is an influx of people from a safety point of view. But it was April 8th, 2024.
Correct.
So the town's working on trying to make sure we have, you know, if we need enough, I don't know, emergency
Safety
personnel,
plan.
safety personnel.
Why are they
safety
coming
plan.
here? Is this the only place they can see?
This is one of the
Well,
best places to.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, I mean, I've heard of eclipses before, and they show you the path across the country of where it would be like 100%, and then if you go out a couple hundred miles, it's 98%, you know, that kind of thing. St. Albans appears to be directly in the middle, like, we're probably gonna have 100%
Bay
eclipse
Park.
here.
What
The
time
Bay Park
does
So,
specific.
so that's what I wanted to mention is, I mean, we're of course taking the safety precautions first, which is obviously the first thing we need to do, but secondly, could be a great opportunity, you know, to have some kind of viewing thing, maybe at the Bay Park, I don't know. Hopefully the weather's good, it'll probably be.
When is it?
It'll probably be cloudy and it'll be a total eclipse
What
anyway.
time is the total eclipse?
I think it's, I mean, I've seen a partial one before when I was in Boston, and it's one of those things where it's, you know, kind of like watching the sunset, you know, when that last.
You
bit
gotta have a
of the sun.
welder's hat on.
We get any, those special glass type things you look at it through, because you can't look directly at the sun anyway. It's a good opportunity, maybe a few extra people will come and
Is it what time of
increase our
day is
lot.
it?
It's supposed to be at around 3 p.m.
Oh,
Is that right?
So-
36.
2:36? All right, there you go.
2:36, there we
It's
go.
in the afternoon.
Didn't they have one with the moon
Yeah.
a while
Lunar
back?
eclipse, yeah.
I think I was sleeping, I didn't see it.
Yeah, check it.
But we're getting calls already from people that are planning to bring busloads of people here, and the Chamber of Commerce is getting that as well. So this isn't some arbitrary, you know, astrological fest. It's a real thing. People will come
Yeah.
here, and we need to be prepared for those crowds.
Yeah, and the trajectory is, I mean, it's coming like from Canada through Franklin County and down into New York, so, I mean, we'll be one of the prime spots. Franklin County is gonna be one of the prime spots in Vermont, so it should be pretty neat.
Could we have a party?
You're throwing a party?
Yeah, so the municipality have some sort of event in
Oh.
Bay Park, a party.
Yeah, that's kind of what I meant, you know, by throwing that out. I don't know if there's an opportunity.
Maybe
but I
we've
think
actually
something
started
we can
to
do.
plan that already.
I would just be very hesitant on doing too much down the Bay Park, and it can either be frozen or it can be very, very wet.
Yes.
Depending on what April 8th looks like, it can be a disaster down there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
So
good
just
point.
be aware.
Yeah, that's a good point, John. Any other comments on, I guess, anything, because our next thing is to adjourn, actually, so.
If there's that many people coming to town, what would we have for accommodations around here, and would it open up homeowners to rent out a room to a guest?
Like Airbnb style.
Well, Airbnb though is restricted somewhat in this town.
Oh, I just mean,
What I understand.
yeah, I just mean, no, I think I hear what you're saying. You're saying.
But it's the same concept.
Yeah, yeah.
So I didn't know if that would, if it is an Airbnb or,
I suppose you could like have campers in your field and stuff.
Yeah, well,
April 8th, good luck.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth saying, I mean, both, you know, Jonathan's point, David's point, I mean, just if there's, and Al's point, I mean, if there's, I don't know what would be workable. I don't know how many people would come for a solar eclipse. I mean, 50 people or
Oh, yeah.
1,000? I have no idea.
It'd be
It's the
like,
best spot, there's almost there are over 7 billion people in the world.
you probably get,
Yeah.
There's
probably
over
get a
8.
million and a half.
It's up to 8.
Is
Just
it?
charge $1.
Should be able to get a couple
Yeah.
hundred.
Just at the,
I mean, if they.
set up toll roads that's coming into
If the
town.
bay still froze, they could put quite a few out there on the ice.
I'm gonna cross that one off right now. All right, any other, I mean, I guess it's something we can talk about over the next few months anyway, since we
The
have.
dock probably won't be underwater by then.
It's still coming up.
Perfect. All right, if there's nothing else, or actually look for a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, there's no executive session, so we are done for 2 weeks.
All right, gentlemen, see you next Monday.